I love this. This is so awesome. Oh my God. Thank you, Amanda. I'm glad somebody in this world does.
Oh, good God.
I know, right? I know, right?
Now it's going to get dialed up.
What I love is you're actually listening to listening to our podcast. That's what's so amazing.
What's the front of it say?
I love it. Absolutely.
It says,
Rock on, Bourbon Boys.
says,
don't worry. Amanda's got your back.
I thought it was like Kurt's a big fucking baby.
BFB.
No, that's the one you would send me, Dave.
You would.
Oh,
Absolutely,
my God.
I would.
This is so awesome.
That
I
is
can't
awesome.
tell you. This is awesome. This is so awesome. Thank you, Amanda.
There it is.
You're welcome.
I think we're going to sell these on our website, actually.
There you go.
Good. Wear it proud.
I'm going to. In fact, I'm putting it on tonight.
Yeah, leave the room when you change, okay? I don't
I'm not.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Amanda.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where guys get together to talk about bourbon, about life, lure, and libation, and everything that comes with being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs, just a group of guys who like bourbon for what it is and how it tastes. Pretty simple. This is podcast number 17. I'm Krat, and I'm here with my Bourbon Boys, Alton,
Hello.
Kurtron,
Hey there.
and Do.
Yo.
Tonight we've got 3 bourbons to taste. The first one we have is a Larceny. The second one is Conviction, and the third one is Redemption. So, super glad to be back with you guys to hang out and catch up and taste some bourbon. So let's get started.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Let's do that.
All right.
So we got a theme here about crime.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to go through the process. We're going to get the due process here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's a little, I was thinking it's a little Victor Hugo and Jean Valjean. Like he's convicted, larceny, conviction, and then redemption. It's a good story. It's like a hero's journey.
So what that means, the crime has to come first.
Crime's got to start with the crime.
Start with the crime.
Then we'll do the time.
All right.
So who's got larceny?
I do.
All right.
Yeah. So this is kind of a. So this is. I don't think any of you guys have you had this one. Do?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I've
so
seen it on the shelves.
This is actually
Yeah.
what I actually really like this bourbon. I've had it before, a couple bottles before. So I'm glad that you guys are finally tasting it. So it's a straight bourbon. The Larceny Kentucky Straight Bourbon has its origins in the history of the John E. Fitzgerald and the Old Fitzgerald brand. Master distillers select a limited number of barrels from specific floor locations in the Rick House for Larceny's 6-year-old taste profile. The tradition, though, is really kind of cool in that it's using a wheat in place of rye as a secondary grain in the mash bill.
Yep.
And so Larceny uses more wheat than any of its competitors for a softer and rounder character.
Really?
Yeah. The proof is 92. So we'll
Smooth.
get... What's it?
Smooth.
Good. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But so we got to commit the crime first. So this is kind of a cool story. It is a little bit of lore, so take it with a grain of salt. But actually, the story of Old Fitzgerald brand was made famous by the late Julian Pappy Van Winkle Sr. According to the lore, Johnny Fitzgerald had founded his distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky, shortly after the Civil War ended, making his bourbon available only to steamship lines, rail lines, and private clubs. But what gets more interesting here is that S.C. Herbst, who actually owned Old Fitz brand from the 1880s through Prohibition, and Pappy Van Winkle, who purchased the brand during Prohibition and made its signature label. However, it was revealed that Pappy's granddaughter, Sally Van Winkle Campbell, are you guys following this?
Dun, dun, dun.
Right, exactly.
I need a family tree.
I know, right? In 1999, in her 1999 book, But Always Find Bourbon, Pappy Van Winkle and the Story of Old Fitzgerald, was kind of revealed the fact that Johnny Fitzgerald was not a famous distiller at all. So here comes the crime, right? He was actually, in reality, a treasury agent. So he didn't actually make bourbon at all. This is what's so great about it. So he was a treasury agent, and he actually used the keys to the warehouses to actually pilfer bourbon from the finest barrels.
Bad man.
And so his discerning, but with that, he had a great palate, and that
Who wouldn't? Picking my own barrel.
and that led those barrels to which he chose to help himself being referred to as Fitzgerald barrels. So meaning he picked the finest barrels, and those were essentially labeled the Fitzgerald barrels. And so it's amusing, it's interesting, and certainly a lot better than what we've heard. But that is the story. So the tagline: a taste made famous by an infamous act.
Nice.
Interesting.
So it's 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% barley.
So moral of the story is crime does pay.
Yeah, no, but I think what's so cool about it is that everybody thought he was like this master distiller, and all he was doing was just pilfering the stuff out of barrels that were made by somebody else.
He was developing his palate.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit what do you guys get on the nose?
Cinnamon.
Pretty mild.
Cinnamon.
I don't get much.
I can't participate because I'm reading it from the sheet.
You get cinnamon. You get a little bit of the, like a spice, some sort of a spice. I'm not getting a lot of sweet.
I'm getting no sweet, yes.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Well, they describe it as fresh bread and toffee with notes of butterscotch on the nose.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Taste? You guys all did that like synchronized swimmers.
You said taste.
Taste sure.
Caramel.
Yep. Buttery caramel and
I get butter. I get like butter popcorn.
With more like Parmesan sprinkles.
Parmesan.
we always come back to Parmesan.
Parmesan.
That's a T-shirt you need.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Parmesan.
Yeah.
Did you taste the Parmesan?
It's a buttery caramel. It's a buttery caramel.
Yep.
And honey with a rich mouthfeel.
Honey. Yeah.
It definitely has that rich mouthfeel. But that's the wheat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which makes it a little more subtle, and they talk about that. We're taking the rye out, and and then the finish. How would you guys describe the finish?
Yeah, I'd say medium. I mean, it's there. It doesn't go away quick. It doesn't last forever. But
Yeah, they describe it as sweet and savory.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I actually this is a really good. I like this bourbon, so this is my third bottle.
What's the proof?
92. And that's the thing that I like about it. It does not taste like a 92
It
proof
doesn't have that.
Yeah.
to me. So
yeah, it's a little warmer than I would have thought at 92.
yeah. So, but cool story.
I like it.
It's got a lot of flavor. I mean, I think a lot of spice. I mean, you can kind of decompose it. I mean, we talked about several. Also, kind of feel like there's almost like a maple in there. And we talked about like butterscotch and all that, but it's I think there's some maple. So
A little more of that sweetness.
yeah.
It's a full, like we've had a lot of bourbon where just it's all on your tongue and that's all you can taste and feel. Like it doesn't ever hit the rest of your mouth. This for me is like full mouth. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
So it is interesting because there's another way they describe it is this weighty mouthfeel. So the way that you're talking about that, it's kind of it's thick, oily body. So it's got a little bit of thickness to it, and that's I do get that when I taste it. I really I think that's what I enjoy it. They do talk about the sweetness, a little mint. This talks about mint. I'm not catching the mint.
I get a little bit of mint.
Mildly spicy. So.
Starting to sound a little bit like Kurt.
Yeah. Mildly
Smooth,
spicy.
sweet, and mildly spicy.
Wow, that almost sounds like a compliment from Dave.
I would take it.
Okay. I'm going to go with that.
So this is
I've had a good day. That's what I'm going to say.
So I added a splash of water. So I was trying it neat and just thinking that there's a lot of intense spice. So a splash of water really changes the flavor of this one.
Which way?
It really smooths it out.
Okay.
So it takes the edge off and actually seems to make the finish even sweeter and last a little longer.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not typically a big fan of wheats, but this is it's not bad.
So the wheats we had
Ooh, there was that one.
Weller.
Yeah, Weller. We love the Weller.
Wasn't Clover a wheat?
No.
I don't think Clover was a wheat.
I don't think so.
What made it so bad?
you won't forget that one.
No, it just stuck with me.
But there was
I shake when I pass into the store.
Yeah, there was that one wheat that's actually I think it's from North Carolina.
Oh, old Nick Williams.
Yeah, that one did not.
Yes.
No.
That one stuck with me too.
But I think the branding on this is pretty cool too. I think the way that they've done the bottle, how you can actually see the key through the keyhole.
Yeah.
But obviously, once you know the story, then the key makes a whole lot of sense.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did open it up with some water, and I'm surprised at how smoother it is.
Yeah. I thought it changed it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't.
You wouldn't notice it?
I don't even notice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is this?
It was 27. So, I mean, for what you're getting for $27, I think this is a great deal. I also think this is one, as we talk about introducing people into a bourbon for the first time, I think you could actually do this one.
I think it's got a great story too.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
there's
it's a
more
fun
to it
story.
where you can kind of build that anticipation of
Exactly.
Yeah.
the flavor profile is coming from some of the better barrels that were,
I would agree.
Right. So now that a crime hath been
Committed.
yes, indeed.
I guess the judge and jury
I think it's going to lead to a conviction.
could possibly.
I'm trying to finish this glass so fast so I can get to my conviction. Keep stalling.
So Alton's drinking it. There we go. Almost.
So here's a question. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so we know that the Angel's Cut and the was the Bourbon Thief, right?
Yeah.
Would this gentleman have received the same title of Bourbon Thief?
The original
He was the OG.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
OG. So I wonder how he was doing that. I mean, because it's the whole. I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, like, how do you steal bourbon without taking the whole? You think he was like stealing barrels, or was
No,
like
I think he was
siphoning it off?
I think he was taking a turkey baster and going in there and being like,
Yeah.
But he was turkey basting enough to sell and make money on it. Damn.
Guess he got good at it.
What's his name? Johnny
Fitzgerald.
Johnny Fitz. John
Yeah.
Fitzgerald.
I think there's a song about the John Fitzgerald, isn't it? No.
The Edmund Fitzgerald.
Edmund Fitzgerald. That's right. Never mind. Brothers.
JFK.
All right. So
All right, let's move on to the conviction.
yeah. So we got the crime.
Yeah, so pour us up there,
Now
Grant.
we got the conviction coming in.
So this is one that I like a lot, and it's a North Carolina craft. Actually, it's only out. I tell everybody it's over by the coast. Well, it turns out when I actually looked at Google's maps, it's about 50 minutes east of here, so not quite to the coast.
On the way.
It's on the way. Yeah, if you miss it, you'll end up.
Let's see. It takes us 5 hours to get to Derek's place.
Near the coast
It's
of Lake
really nice. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Exactly. So, I think it's a relatively young distillery. Cool story there, though, is they call it whiskey prison. They actually took over a correctional facility that was operating as a prison and a work camp from 1929 to 2011.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's got to be a lot of character in the place. So again, relatively new. I couldn't find when it's brewed by or distilled by Southern Grace. I couldn't find when they opened.
Okay.
But again, it can't be that long. They claim to be the first bourbon ever legally aged behind bars. So that's there. There you go. I can't argue with that.
Everything else was taken.
That's like the greatest oxymoron right there.
Yeah.
Legally behind bars.
Legally behind
I love
bars,
it.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's. It looks like I think it's right about 100 proof. I think 100.5 actually. It's handwritten on the bottle, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. The label kind of looks like burlap, I guess is what I'd
Well, it's
call
got a
that.
texture to it.
It does have texture
It
to
has
it.
some
Yeah,
texture
it's
to
pretty
it.
cool.
It's handwritten with a pen, so it's kind of cool. It's a 2-grain mash bill.
Really?
Yep, 88% corn and 12% malted barley.
88% corn.
And
Yep.
zero.
That's probably why I like it,
zero
'cause I'm so
rye.
sweet. Yep.
You are sweet.
Yep,
Well, are you just like sweet things?
that too.
Have we had anything that has only
don't think so.
been,
No,
I think
not that I'm
it's
aware
either
of.
been corn or wheat.
because technically it could be one. It could just be 100% corn,
Right.
and it's still a bourbon, right?
As long as it's over 50%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Wow. All right.
So give it
I like the bottle. Like
Yeah.
I like the rigidity of the bottle. I think it's pretty cool.
What are you guys getting on the nose?
does
My
smell sweeter.
sniffer's broken, I think.
It's it's only 2 years old
Yep.
because it's got a surprisingly dark.
I think
Yeah.
my ice ball's interrupting my nose.
Yeah, so they've actually got a bottle date in here,
Bottle date,
12,
nice.
18, 19. So, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So, wait a minute, so that's not 2 years old then.
I'm getting something really different on the nose, but I
Bottled
can't.
then?
Yeah, it was a
I can't
bottle.
put my nose on it.
Can't put your nose on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
I think I'm in the brown sugar
Yep.
space.
Brown sugar to molasses on the taste
Yeah,
for me.
molasses. Definitely sweet. It
Yep.
is sweet.
It's very sweet.
I
When
also
you
think
said
there's
molasses. It does have
Yeah.
that bitterness, just on the nose.
there's a little bit of hint for me actually from so when I lived in the Netherlands, they had this candy called Dropia, and it's like black licorice, but
Okay.
it had I'm getting a hint of that
A
in
little
this as
anisette.
well. Yeah, a little exactly.
Licorice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Kurt, did you wear clogs when you were over there?
So first of all, they're not called clogs, Dave.
The Crocs.
Wooden Crocs.
And they have gibbets to put in them too. They drill little holes
windmills.
through the.
Tulips. I see this.
That'd be awesome. Actually, that's a great idea.
Well,
Just to drill in the front of like some wooden shoes and put some gibbets in there.
Now I'd
little
regret-
stand-up windmills.
I don't want to mess up my wooden shoes, though.
Totally regret bringing this up.
And we're back.
Licorice.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's
I
talk
do.
about the taste.
I do. I get some black licorice here.
All right, Blackland.
Yep.
Very
It
sweet.
matches. It really is. It's,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's got a little bit of a little pfeffery finish in the.
How though?
I don't know, but I get a little pepper.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Or
the
that
pepper.
could be just residual wheat from Larceny.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a long finish for me.
It does not have much of a finish. Nope.
For me, it does.
fades. Really?
It's staying with me. It's getting like the third and fourth sip, really dark licorice. Like that real.
Yeah. This is
bitter.
good. I like
It's
it. I
not
mean,
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
what I like about it is there's something really, it's distinctively different
Yeah.
than, you know.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah, I like the bottle a lot. I went to their website doing a little research. It was a little underway. A tremendous amount of opportunity. You guys will look at it and probably have a dozen ideas. So they can definitely dial up the, playing up their presence, online presence. But I like the, I like the taste. I like the bottle.
Do they do tours? Like
They
is
do
it something
tours.
that we can
Yep.
Road trip.
Yep.
head up and check it out.
Yeah.
Some Saturday.
Why don't we need to reach out to these guys and talk to them?
Yeah.
Let's go check them out.
Yeah, so I think it's Thomas Thacker and Leanne Powell were kind of credited as the founders.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Leanne passed away in July of 2019, and so kind of they keep her legacy going and every fine bottle and every fine sip. But it looks like just a small group of folks who love what they do and are committed to the craft. So
That's really
we
cool.
definitely should road trip over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially since it's closer than I realized.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Like back and forth for a day.
It is interesting that for a 2-year, they're getting this unique of a flavor.
Yeah.
I would agree.
It could just
Yeah,
be
I
just
agree.
like syrupy sweet, but this one actually has got a little bit of complexity to it.
Yeah.
Or,
and-
or for 2 years, it could be super thin and just like,
Yeah.
ugh, it's
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
The other thing, they just came out with a double oak. So, double oak is basically they aged it for a year in one barrel, switched to a fresh barrel for the second year to enrich the flavor. Kurt and I actually tried it last weekend in Blowing Rock.
You tried that double oak?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was a little, again, it was good. It wasn't materially different, I didn't think. I was a little disappointed that
Not
the
like
flavor profile was.
Woodford to preserve to double oak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was looking for that kind of step change.
Yeah.
It was good, but like I said, I didn't find out. I have to try it again, but
But here's what I like about it. Like this, when we talk about craft bourbon, right? Which we did with Macaulay.
Yeah.
yep.
Blue Note.
Like this feels like that just because of the handwriting, and I mean, there's something really good. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Larceny is good, but like this just looks like a commercialized product, right? And I don't know, there's something kind of cool about this.
Well, and just
Could be all fake too, but
the idea that it's being distilled in an old prison is really kind of
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like the little label here. Break me
less
out.
than an
Break me
hour
out.
away, by the way.
Yeah.
I know. Have you guys ever been in prison?
Have I ever been to prison?
Yeah.
I've been in a prison. I've
I've
never
been
to
in
prison.
solitary confinement once.
Here?
No,
By
it was
Liz?
it was at Alcatraz.
Okay.
Oh, I was just saying, did you have one of those shirts with the sleeves in the back?
Hey, I know where you can get one of those.
Formal white?
I have been to Alcatraz.
No, I mean that was
Yeah.
my first and only experience of ever being like in a prison.
That was
But
cool.
at that
That's
time, they would actually put groups of people in solitary confinement and close the doors.
Oh,
so you
wow.
had a feeling of what that was like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a little.
How long were you in there for? How much time did you do?
About
6 minutes.
2 minutes.
About 2 minutes. And I'm not kidding you. When they close that door, you cannot see your hand in front of your face.
Dang.
It is that dark.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's a
frightening.
cool tour, though.
It's
That
a
is
very
an
cool
awesome
tour.
tour.
We
Yeah.
did the nighttime tour.
Oh,
It was awesome.
that would be cool.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Probably a little creepy.
It was
Yeah.
perfectly creepy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like
Tough
it.
swim back.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. So,
Yeah.
if anybody in your family was going to go to prison for something, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Do they have to still be alive?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking like, who do you think it would be
That's a
in
great
your own
question.
family?
I've always had like that is one of my top of my list fears is going to prison.
Me too.
Actually, when I was in preschool, we had a field trip to the Bridgewater State Prison, which was a mental prison.
This was part of this is part of the Scared Straight program.
yeah,
It's
Brilliant.
Start 'em with
It's
the
brilliant.
four.
Stick with him still.
Look, where I am.
Yeah, there you go.
Turned out all right.
Kids and people
At
are worried about their
4
kids
years
wearing
old.
masks, and you
Honest
were
to
going to
God.
prisons at 4 years old.
Yeah, yeah. 4 years old. They took us through this prison. I remember it was very vivid.
I'll
It
bet.
was very freaky.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. And then years later, we almost bought a house on prison property.
I heard that story.
yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, so close.
Yeah.
So close. It's like, there's some reason I'm drawn back to this
That's
place.
two. That's two.
But no, I don't know. I don't know if I have any family members. It'll probably come to me, but
No. I'm not saying, do you have any family members? I'm saying, if there was anybody in your family
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm thinking.
potentially could go to prison,
That's what I'm thinking.
who would it be?
Definitely on my mom's side. I'll start narrowing it down. I'll start at the top of the funnel. Which parent would it be? Mom's side. You probably couldn't. Two concentric circles out of that, I could probably identify a couple of folks.
I love it. The reunion lineup.
That's right.
Kurt, who's in your family?
I can't say because I don't know if my family listens to this, but it's somebody in my direct family.
As long as it's not Auntie Kaka.
It's not. No, Auntie Kaka's. Yeah, no, she's too good. If anything, that would be drunk driving. But yeah, no.
Yeah, there's some questions you probably just shouldn't ask if you know.
Well, it's just like when Liz and I started dating. We were on a walk one night. She's like, "So if you died, who do you think would come to your funeral?" I'm like, "I really don't care."
Yeah.
Like,
What does it
'Cause I'm
matter to
dead,
me?
right?
No.
and I'm like, "Why would I think about that?" She's like, well, "Aren't you curious?" I'm like, "No, not really."
So we were talking about like the rhetorical questions that somebody actually answered. So when we were in Kansas City, first married, there was a big group of us, and we all got married probably within 18 months, 24 months of each other. And we were out drinking one night, and somebody threw out there like, "Okay, who do you think will get divorced first?"
Oh.
And somebody actually was dumb enough to answer it so out loud. So he wore that moniker forever, and he was wrong, thank God. But
That's good. It's got like a way to break the ice.
yeah, it's like
Just working our way into this.
Wow.
Wow.
But he's like, yeah, I think it'd be.
Obviously,
They remind him frequently.
he had not been married long enough to know not to answer
Yeah,
that question.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
inside voice.
Exactly.
We're not actually taking bets.
Right. Exactly.
There's this thing called inner dialogue.
Yeah, I was like, that was out loud,
great.
Mike.
I love it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody in my family that's been to prison that I know of.
No, not anybody who's been in prison.
Yeah.
Like, if you could peg anybody in your family who has the potential to.
No, I know, but I'm not.
Who you laying odds on?
Outside of myself, I'm not answering that question. No way. It would also be on my mom's side. I did have a great grandfather that didn't go to prison, but he did commit a crime. He practiced medicine without a medical license.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do you just do that?
They frown on that.
Well, yeah, apparently, but there's, I guess, no one else had the skills or the ability, and they needed somebody.
close enough.
Yeah. not a grandfather, a great grandfather.
Yeah.
He does have the steadiest hand.
He did deliver a pig.
I'm thinking, okay, he's probably like, okay, the heart's right around here somewhere.
Hey, your handwriting really sucks. Do you want to be the doctor today? All right, so that was conviction.
Now we've got a crime, we've got a conviction.
Yep.
And now we're moving on to redemption.
In any good hero story, there's redemption.
Okay, well let's uncork this bad boy. This one's got. Well, we'll talk about the aesthetics in a minute.
Yeah, that's
So it looks like an apothecary
that's a cool bottle. I think, and
cool
I think I
shape
had
to
said it reminds me of
flash-shaped
Bib and
bottle,
Tucker, which I
little
think
Bib and
Dewey
Tucker
said
look,
it comes from the same
distributed by the same family that owns Bib and Tucker. It's got a little bullet shape to it, bullet bottle,
It does, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Except the label's on
Except
straight.
the label's on straight.
Good memory. And they have like 5 or 6 different varieties. They're known for their rye. So they've got a rye, they've got a high rye bourbon, they've got a bourbon, they've got a wheated bourbon, and then they have like a 9-year-old rye and a 10-year-old bourbon, and there's a few in there. Started in 2010. A couple guys had access to an old Seagram's distillery. It is distilled in Indiana, and then it is barreled in Bardstown. So they bring it over the line, they barrel it in Kentucky. And it's a young bourbon. I think this is a 3-year, it's like 2.5 or 3-year-old. And they put the mash bill on the label.
Yes.
It's like
Saw that,
one of
yeah.
the few bourbons that does that, which is kind of cool. This is a 96 proof wheated bourbon. Mash bill on this one is 51% corn, 45% winter wheat, and 4% malted barley. And it's, like every bourbon, it's aged in new American white oak barrels.
Cool.
So be curious to hear what you guys are tasting, but it's a young bourbon. It's named after like the whole idea. I think there was a lot of chatter post Prohibition about the redemption of rye, and that it was making its comeback. So they started with that name. It's a 10-year-old bourbon company. And we're going to taste something that's about 3 years old now. It comes in around $35 a bottle. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's okay for mixers. It's not a bad bourbon to drink straight. I think it's very smooth myself, but curious what you guys get on the nose.
Butterscotch. Lots and lots of butterscotch. I like the smell.
It's good.
Do you want to go deeper?
Enough said.
Way to straddle the fence there, Kurt.
No, it's good. I mean, I think the hard part is that like if that's all I was drinking tonight, I'd be like, yeah, it's not bad. I like it. But when we have it up against like the other two that we've tasted, I'm like, it's good.
Yeah. So
Again, I think this is one I would introduce to somebody if they're just trying bourbon for the first time.
See, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No, it's too weedy.
you got a lot of weedy.
I got a lot of weedy. It's just,
But I
can't-
think about, so that's fair, but I think about what usually gets people trying bourbon for the first time, which is the rye. And I think the wheat.
I think that's what scares people.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I
bite.
mean. That's what I mean.
Oh,
you mean
gets them. I
gets
thought,
them.
I thought
What
you
gets
meant,
them.
I thought
Yeah.
you meant they were coming into it to get the rye. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, I'm
what
sorry.
gets them is when they taste it is that rye taste.
Yeah.
And that's where I find the wheats
Yeah.
kind of to the palate, I feel just a little softer. And the way they, like with Larceny, the way they describe it is that the winter wheat replaces a spicier, fruitier flavor notes with than that a rye provides with a softer, rounder character.
Yeah.
And I do think this has that.
In the Larceny, I don't get that kind of earthy, weedy kind of taste, but I get it in this.
You get like cereal in this.
What's the percentage?
Like
What's the
Cheerios?
percentage of wheat on that one?
This one's pretty high. It's
45?
It's 45% winter wheat.
So
Yeah.
that could be why, because this is 20. This is 20 wheat.
Yeah, and I mean, oddly enough, we agree. The Larceny, I think we both liked it, but this one's not doing it for me.
So this one's at that 4-year mark.
Yeah.
You know, mid 3s, 4 years. It says that that's kind of a mellow, nutty whiskey with long, smooth finishes. Flavors of roasted coffee bean and hazelnut. And I'm not getting that much. Like you said, earthy. I was thinking, well, maybe it's in that space, like nutty, earthy. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's not matching much of the suggested aroma and palate. Some of the suggestions are roasted coffee beans, smoked meats, and hazelnut with cardamom, black pepper, and mint.
What? Yeah,
No,
I'm not getting any of those.
Here's kind of my play on it. I think they're trying too hard. I like these two. It's good. I mean, if that's all somebody had when I went to their house, I'd be like, great, pour me a glass. But I can't say that I would actually invest in a bottle.
I think it's funny that Alan said it tastes like cereal.
Yep.
I mean, I'm little hints of Cheerios.
You got it.
It's not bad. It's just.
Oh, it's not bad. No, it's kind of nondescript.
Yeah. It's
So-
I mean, in the lineup, I think it's a letdown.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you think about there's a crime, there's a conviction, there's redemption.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he did.
I will tell you from the bottle though, and the branding.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
or
Pretty-
you
pretty-
did it,
pretty
but you
good
got
job.
away with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I think the bottle's pretty dang cool
I mean,
though.
even put
the presentation
Right,
is good.
right.
Put this up against the redemption. Just hold the bottles next to each other. Like just in the color alone, like you can see
Darker.
that's super coppery
Yeah.
looking. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I in doing a little bit of research on the redemption, it was it's a couple of distillers who are working with flavor profiles that they were looking for. They've got a little bit of a legacy and a lore that they're building
Yeah.
on this. But I don't know. I'd like to try the rye to see if that's where their energy is. And then bourbon was, well, while we have this stuff, we should try some
Yeah.
bourbon.
I
I
mean-
don't feel like it's their strongest.
I don't think so.
Yep.
I mean, I think from a branding standpoint, to me, honestly, like take that label off. Like I would love it just with the bottle, which would be reminiscent of Bibb and Tucker a little bit, but
Sure.
that label's not right for me from a branding standpoint.
Yeah.
It's offensive to your eyes.
It's not. All right, here we go.
He's just warming up.
Amanda, do I need to turn around?
Hey,
do
let's
I need to turn around?
Hey, let's give a little shout out to Amanda, here.
Amanda.
Somebody stood up for Kurtron.
Amanda is the queen. I
Yeah.
love Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. I love my T-shirt.
It's pretty
Love
awesome.
it.
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
For the four of you who heard the prior episode,
Yeah, right.
That's right. Yeah.
Amanda sent Kurt a t-shirt. Appreciate you guys.
And as soon as he put it on, David gave him a wedgie.
there you go. Betcha. All right. So if let's just say I'll say Kurt is going to go to prison.
Wait a minute, is this last
call?
Is this last call? Or is this just
No, this is last call.
Last call, last meal.
Last call, last meal, last
Keeping in a
drink.
crime theme.
Johnny Cash built a guillotine outside?
I like
So
this one.
Kurt's going to prison. All right. We're all at our favorite barbecue joint that just happens to serve bourbon. Out of these three, which one are we going to order for Kurt?
We're ordering for Kurt, or we're just toasting Kurt?
I was just exactly.
I don't want to be
I'm like,
here.
hold on a second. I want to know what we're toasting to here.
I didn't say toast. I just said, what are we ordering
It's
for
like
Kurt?
a ding dong, the witch is dead. Like, come on.
Kurt, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But if we had to toast Kurt going to prison,
Amanda, where are you when I need you?
spill it. What are you going to toast Kurtron with?
I really liked. It's not going to be redemption. I don't believe in Kurt. I think it's going to be.
Wow.
Yeah, you're not getting out. I kind of like Larceny. I like that smooth taste to it. So I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going Larceny.
There you go.
Cheers to you, Kurt.
Altoon.
First of all, Kurt, I'm going to miss you, bud. I don't know what you did, but I had no part of it. As I mentioned before, Conviction is one of my favorites. It's nice to have around. It's nice, smooth, sweet. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go Conviction.
Conviction. All right, I'm gonna go, and then we'll let Kurt tell us what he thinks. But
and what he did.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's interesting. Out of all three of these, we got a little bit of a moral dilemma here because, in my mind, crime actually tastes the best. If you think about larceny, so that's what I would drink with Kurt on his last evening before he goes to jail. So, Kurt. What are you drinking, bro?
Nightmares tonight.
I don't even know if this is a fair one to answer for me.
Yeah, you sure can't say Conviction.
I might as well say Conviction if that's
Whatever
what's
it is,
happening.
whatever it is, it's going to be the full bottle.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's a hard one for me. I mean, listen, I'm a Larceny fan through and through, but I gotta say this Conviction is really good, and I'm gonna go with the Conviction all because it's seems most appropriate for the last call, but also I really like the distinctive flavor on that one. Like there is something about that is really good. I really like it.
Yeah, we'll have to go check that place out, see what they got going on over there.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
less than an hour away.
just down on the coast.
Down on the coast.
Coast of 40.
Right down Highway 73, apparently, which we're right off of. By
It's on
the
the
way.
coast of the Catawba River.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So,
You guys still never answered the question though.
which question?
Nor did you.
He did in his your head. In your head, you answered
I
it.
did actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Inner dialogue, right? That's what we talked about earlier.
yeah.
It's your inside voice.
Maybe we should put that on the website. See if anybody actually goes to the website.
Right, out of the four of us, who's got the highest probability to go into prison? Alan, you first. You say first.
Oh, I would say me.
You would say
I'm gonna vote this
Really?
way.
I know who Kurt's.
I would say Dave. I would totally say Dave.
I probably knew Derek's.
I would totally say Dave. Although I do sometimes, like I'm wondering,
Yeah.
it
Little
could
white
be
collar.
a little spy.
Being a spy is not a crime, though.
It's
Crat.
not.
I don't think about crat. That could be.
This is when Bourbon
Come
Boys
on.
turn on each other.
Seriously, think about it. He's got all those old cars. He's fixing them
Money
in the
laundering,
garages.
A lot of bartering going
Yeah,
on.
a
Why
lot
don't you
of,
say that?
lot of in and out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I sold that car. I'm like, oh, I bet you did.
All on the up and up. All on the up and up.
Yeah, that's what the
Just sign
mob
the
says
title.
too.
All right, Derek, who's going to prison?
Of this group,
Yeah.
it'll probably be me because it's a fear of mine. It'll come
Since-
true.
For the
Since
fourth
fourth
4
grade.
years, since 4 years old.
Exactly.
No, but seriously, let's talk about that because it's
Not.
no. But like, I think about all the things that could happen to me in the world.
Yeah.
Like, and that is for me too. The one thing I'm like, I would never survive in that environment.
So just don't do
Oh my
anything
God.
wrong. It's
That's
not
my fear.
hard.
I think
Yeah, I know
there's
that.
like a
But Dave,
Stallone movie where
how
he
many
was
people?
put in
How many people do you
Taking
know
away
that
cash.
end up there that don't belong there?
I don't know anybody in prison, Kurt.
I'm not talking about personally.
What,
Like,
OJ?
No, I'm talking about all the stories you hear about people who end up there who don't belong there.
I'm sorry, but everybody's
Yeah.
there belongs there.
I don't know.
No, come on, Dave.
I'm
People
telling
who
you.
Great stories.
Dave,
good
there's
movies.
been people proven innocent that spent like 30 years in prison.
And if we keep this conversation up, we're going to lose listeners. So let's move on.
Man, it is a fear. It is a fear. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with it's real.
All right. Well, Derek,
Yeah.
just don't do anything wrong, and you'll be
Trying not to.
okay.
Trying to
You'll
keep
be
it
okay.
straight and narrow.
Just keep the subscriptions down.
It's funny because if I had to pick anybody,
Yeah.
Dew would have been the last one.
Okay. All right.
Really?
I appreciate
Yeah.
that, buddy. Thanks.
What the hell would I go to prison for?
I was going to say, I kind of
know.
eliminated this side of the table. Credit. It was either
Yeah.
it was me and you.
Thank
And
you.
I took the moral high
Thank
road,
you.
said myself.
Well, that's
Thank
why
you. Thank you.
no one asked me the question, but I was
Thank
going to
you.
go with myself too.
Well, then you win, Dave.
Yes, proud winner of that one. All right, well, guys, we have gone through probably close to an hour here of drinking some good bourbon, right?
Yeah,
Some
decent.
better than
Yeah,
others.
fun.
It was a good night.
It's fun.
We've had worse nights for sure.
We have
Absolutely.
yet to have a night where all three are perfect and wonderful, and we argue about which one is better. We've had some
True.
of those nights, but anyways.
Not many.
So, thank you guys for another episode.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've tasted Conviction. We tasted some. We should go in order here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Larceny first, the crime. Conviction after that, and then Redemption. So, would love to hear what you guys think about these. If you have a chance to have a taste, let us know. So if you guys like this episode, be sure to subscribe to our series and hit the notification button so you get updates when we drop another episode. Leave us a rating and give us feedback so we can make these better for you. If you want to learn more about tonight's bourbon, visit our site, BourbonOn.com, where you can also order Bourbon Boys merchandise.
BourbonOn.
BourbonOn. So, gentlemen, looks like we're at the end.
Yeah, I think we got a new shirt out there too.
We
right?
do a new shirt.
The BourbonOn shirt.
BourbonOn shirt.
Yeah.
We're not that fast, but one every 6 months is not too much.
Kurt, you said that you shipped one of those to Macaulay.
We did, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you guys, we've got episode 16 will be dropping here soon-ish.
17.
7 will be dropping.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
This is 18.
This is 18.
Well, I read us in as 17.
Well, we'll put this in before.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
What were the orders?
we started
Well, there
at
you go.
17. We ended on 18.
I did that on many SAP tests. Don't worry about it.
Me don't count so good. All right, guys. We're at an end of episode. Pick whichever number you want. 18. Obviously enjoyed time with you guys, catching up, picking on Kurt, and obviously sampling some bourbon and talking.
Yeah,
So
it's been
Have a
great.
good night.
thanks, guys.
Great.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on, gents.